A student named James once spent 3 months designing, printing, and mailing out 1,000 questionnaires. When the replies finally came back, he realized his questions were so poorly designed that none of the data actually addressed his topic. He had to scrap everything and start over. We are going to make sure that does not happen to you. By the time this video is over, you will know exactly how to narrow a messy, broad idea down into one bulletproof sentence and match it to the exact tools you need. Grab a piece of paper or open a blank document right now. We are going to build your plan together. Investing 6 minutes into structural planning today will save you from months of wasted effort and failed data collection later. Step 1. Write down the 5 foundational questions. What, why, who, where, and when. Let's focus on the why. Are you researching to get a grade, secure funding, or make a business decision? Knowing your end goal determines how you format your final report. Next, define your where and when. Document your strict physical constraints. Write down your exact budget limit, the areas you can travel to, and your final deadline. If your project involves observing live classroom practice, but your data collection phase falls during the summer school holiday, the logistics fail. A research idea that lacks alignment with real-world physical and temporal limits is impossible to execute, regardless of how intellectually interesting it might be. Look at your answers to those 5 W's and combine them into a single, concise sentence. If you find yourself writing a full paragraph, your idea lacks focus. Take this failing example. Research to find out what people think about television. It's too vague. Corrected. Researching what primary school teachers think about the educational value of the Teletubbies. We now have a specific demographic and defined variables. If your core inquiry cannot fit into a single targeted sentence, the scope is too loose to yield measurable results. Look closely at the words you just wrote down. The specific verbs you chose dictate the methodology, the overall approach, you will use to study your topic. Words like how many, test, or verify require a quantitative methodology, generating hard statistics. Conversely, words like discover, experiences, or think require a qualitative methodology, exploring human attitudes, behaviors, and deep opinions. If your sentence contains a mix of both mathematical and behavioral keywords, you will likely use triangulation, combining both methodologies to balance the strengths and weaknesses of each. By analyzing your own vocabulary, you have subconsciously decided whether to operate within a mathematical framework or a psychological one. With your methodology locked in, you can choose your methods. These are the specific physical tools you will use to gather the data. For quantitative research, you need strict uniformity, using closed-ended questionnaires or structured interviews with exact multiple-choice options. For qualitative research, you need conversational depth, using unstructured interviews, focus groups, or participant observation to immerse yourself in the culture. Before making your final selection, consider your own personality. If you dislike public speaking or find it intimidating, do not moderate a focus group. This chart breaks down the reality of running a focus group. While participant interaction is incredibly useful to analyze, you also have to secure expensive venues, extract individual views from group chatter, and ensure dominant voices don't drown out everyone else. The perfect research tool sits exactly at the intersection of your project's narrative goals and your own personal constraints. Look back at your page. You should now possess one tightly focused sentence defining your project and at least one specifically assigned research method. By putting these limits on paper right now, you have successfully bypassed the primary reason novice research projects fail. Your immediate next step is background research. Head to an academic library or verified internet database and gather primary and secondary sources to see what studies already exist on your topic. When you do, log that information immediately. Write down the author, publication date, publisher, and page numbers the second you find a useful source. You will avoid scrambling to build a bibliography at the end of the project. A rigorously structured start guarantees a defensible, organized, and ultimately successful final research project.